Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about the aesthetics and symbolisms of Chinese pottery and porcelain. To begin with, pottery and porcelain are the two major types of ceramics primarily made from clay. The former requires a lower temperature and is produced with relatively elementary techniques, while the latter needs a higher temperature and depends on more sophisticated production techniques. Pottery began to appear in China during the Neolithic period. It's generally believed that pottery emerged for storage purposes with the development of early agriculture and domestication of plants and animals. Therefore, the function of early potteries was limited to daily use. As agriculture rapidly developed and people's standard of living improved, pottery production quickly became widespread, and different techniques developed along with increasing demand for different kinds of pottery. The creation of pottery generally involves 4 stages: preparation, shaping, firing, and finishing. During preparation, techniques like treading by feet or kneading by hand are used to remove impurities from raw clay. Then the clays are transformed into the required shapes by techniques such as turntable, spinning wheel, coiling, and molding. After that, the pots are fired or heated to consolidate their shapes. Finally, techniques like polishing, slipping, and scraping were used to finish the making of the pottery, and decoration was added to the surface of the pots. We can observe geometrical and naturalistic patterns on some of the earliest pottery. As shown on the poster, some of the pottery discovered in the relics of the Neolithic Yangshao culture, dated around 5,000 years ago, exhibits beautiful geometric designs and naturalistic patterns like leaves and fish, symbolizing the yearning for harvest and a peaceful relationship with Mother Nature. Also, you see the pots were already made with multiple colors, signifying the proficient use of pigments prior to 3,000 years ago.
Pottery has been widely used in daily life and artworks. Porcelain also appeared in Eastern Han Dynasty and Celadon. Pottery in Qing and Han Dynasty were mainly gray pottery, with some red, white, and black pottery made by painting pigments on them. Normal gray pottery are carved as simple patterns like branch and triangle patterns. They were mainly used in daily life as tablewares. Painted pottery painted with pigments after firing appeared as utensils and pottery figurine. In Qing Dynasty, painted pottery were used in terracotta burials. The large number of human-sized pottery figurine with various shapes and emotions reflects the realistic style of aesthetic in Qing. They were delicately shaved and painted to construct different faces. Pottery figurine in Han Dynasty will often appear as artworks. The size are relatively small, appear as dancing ladies, farmers, and servants, which reflects the romantic style of aesthetic in Han Dynasty. Porcelain first appeared in Eastern Han Dynasty as Celadon. Jade green color celadon were served as utensils and artworks. Celadon storyboard is one of the amazing artworks made in Eastern Han Dynasty. Usually it was constructed with 2 or 3 layers, decorated with animals like birds, poultry, and human figures dancing and playing instruments, which shows the harmonious livelihood of people in Han Dynasty. The symbolic meaning of pottery and porcelain in Qing and Han are mainly the imperial power in Qing Dynasty, the era of prosperity, humanity, culture, and nature, and
Gong Dynasty. Porcelain production entered a mature state, since the key to separate pottery and porcelain is the temperature of fire. The glaze technology became mature, and fire temperature can reach more than 1,000 degrees Celsius in the Tang Dynasty. There are 2 famous factions of porcelain during the Tang. In the south, they are called Celadon. They have the color of jade and are as clear as ice. In the north, there are ceramic whiteware, which have thin and solid wall with smooth lines. But of course, the most famous pottery from Tang is the Tang tree-color glazed ceramics. They are colorful, often with bright yellow, green, and blue, and they are also in infinite variations. The Song Dynasty was the heyday of China's ceramics. Their porcelain not only exceed the previous achievements, even if the later generation can hardly copy them. In There are 5 famous kilns in the Song dynasty. The first one, Ding Kiln. They have milky or ivory color with delicate and smooth lines. And the second one is Ru Kiln. They are made for the royal, and they often have soft and warm color. And the third one, Diao Kiln. Their color are bright, and the glaze is gorgeous and dazzling. And the fourth one is Guan Kiln. They are transparent celadon glaze and have ice crack pattern. The last one is Ge Kiln. Their glaze are cracked. And both the pottery from Tang and Song symbolize the longing for luck and pursuit for a happy life. For example, peony flowers, which is common seen on Tang's porcelain, symbolize wealth and splendor.
In Ming and Qing dynasty, the capitalism sprouted, so handicrafts, commerce, and trade prospected. Porcelain once became an important source of national finances and an industry well developed. For the aesthetic side, Yuan dynasty mainly focused on the celadonware, which drove the development of Ming and Qing porcelain. The porcelain in these 2 dynasties are made of kaolin from Jingdezhen, which introduced aluminum oxide and is conductive to the formation of moldate, which improves the chemical stability and sintering strength. The white porcelain in Ming Dynasty developed rapidly and was divided into white and blue and colorful. The lovely white glaze in Yongle period is the most famous one. It is dedicated because of the thin wall and thick glaze. In Qing Dynasty, the shaved glaze craftsmanship and the decoration of the porcelain reached a peak in Qianlong period. However, later generations criticized the Qianlong porcelain as it is not as strong and thick as Kangxi and as beautiful as Yongzheng. Porcelains also have symbolic meanings, and the patterns reflect the spiritual world of people. First of all, it can show the religion and philosophy. For example, the lotus and the honeysuckle is the symbol for Buddhism, and plum, orchid, bamboo, and chrysanthemum are used to praising the literary's high commodity morals. Signal for it can also reflect the folk culture. The lower class people always using patterns of fish and bats to represent good fortune. Overall, the pottery and porcelain are precious Chinese heritages, and they contain high aesthetic value, historical value, and scientific value. People can learn a long Chinese history from them.